Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Monday night. Welcome to the show. Let's make sure everybody can hear me. This is all working. I'm going to just pull up this monitor to make sure that it looks good. But here we are. It is the Monday night stream. I can see myself on camera. Let's take a listen. Looks like our delay is something fierce, though. Doesn't look great. Yeah, we look bad. The delay looks horrible. You know, maybe not as bad as last time. I don't know, but we're gonna have to do a little work on this sucker because, yeah, God bless it. Every week, it's just a disaster. I feel like though the way to do this is to go like I think I changed it last time if I remember correctly, and I think what we did is we synced it down to 240, and I think it made it just right. So let's check back and see if it's any better. Yeah, it seems like it's good now. Ha ha! Look at that. We fixed it live on the spot. Bingo! What's up, everyone? Kevin Merton, Jeff Alterman, Haskell 420, NW Warrior 28, Charlotte Garkin, Jeremy Miller, Patricio Carrasco, Alan Smithy, Corey Rodriguez, whole group in here hanging out. It's the Monday night stream. It's Nerds in Suits. It's the Positivity stream. I see so many wonderful names in here. I see a ton of patrons in here. I see a ton of weekly listeners and watchers in here. A lot of great names who are here to kind of hang out and be a part of our thing. There's a lot of great stuff going on this week on Nerds in Suits Weekly. I'm really pumped about this show. This has increasingly become a show that I look forward to doing every week. I think it adds something to my week that I find very cathartic and helpful, and I hope you guys do too, because there's a lot that I want to talk about tonight. So the first thing I'll ask is everybody who's watching, just hit that thumbs up, guys. There was like almost 30 of you guys waiting in the waiting room, which was pretty cool for this, considering this is the fifth live stream or something this channel has done, and we don't, don't need words and lip syncing like they're from a street racer dub. Oh man. I see Kay Wolf in here. I see Dean Morgan. Yeah, just hit that thumbs up, guys. So, what do we do here on Nerds in Suits Weekly? What do we do? There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. We haven't gotten a check-in since last week. One of the things that happened since last I saw you guys last Monday is that we had an interview post with Clark Wolf, with Classy Clark Wolf. That was a fun interview. She was terrific. I really enjoyed talking to Clark. And you guys were great. The live viewership on that was great. The comments were great. And a lot of people had just really generally positive, very nice things to say about that interview, which was very cool for me. Something I pride myself in doing on this channel is, I try to do a good job with these interviews and make sure that the person that comes away from it feels like they got a great conversation. Not to be corny, but and I feel like I got a lot of really friendly messages from Clark Wolf that or about the Clark Wolf interview, that people really enjoyed it, and they really just felt like it spoke to them. It was very positive and very cool. So thanks all for watching that. I do have to be honest with all of you. There was not an episode of Song from the Scene that came out last week. That show is increasingly becoming like, I don't want to say a thorn in my side, because I love doing that show. I think it's such a fun time, and I really think that show is special. It's unique. It's just a lot of work. I moved it to bi-weekly so I could have a little more time to prepare for it, but combined with everything else I've got going on, with all the action industry stuff, all the preparation for the interviews I'm doing here, all the editing I'm having to do, the songwriting I'm doing for my album, plus work, plus everything else, it's just, it's a lot. So the show will go on. I have a couple options. I'm hoping to get one out this week. I'm pretty excited about it, but I'm just trying to find a little bit more of a rhythm of a schedule to make sure that Cody Sale says there's only a finite number of songs written for movies. Yeah, it's definitely a show that I have to be a little more careful with how frequently I'm putting out, because I don't want to burn through all the good ones. But there's a ton of really good ones still coming up. Werewolves of London is one that I'm thinking about doing. Clark Wolf's actually intro song, which I love. Kiss from a Rose by Seal is another one. In Your Eyes, Peter Gabriel from Say Anything is another one that's on my list of songs to do. Under Pressure from Grosse Point Blank is another one that's on my list. So there's still a bunch, and I'm going to get through a lot of them, and they're going to be fun to do. It's just I kind of have to find a little bit more of a rhythm physically in the space here to do those songs. So all that being said, we're here to talk about a bunch of stuff. Yeah, like so many great comments about the Clark Wolf interview. There's some really fun ones coming up. I will be getting to all of the goal setting stuff and all the positivity stuff here in just a second. I know there's a lot of you guys in here who are actually sticking with the goals, which is cool. I have to tell you, I put out the offer last week to have the 30-day goal setting stuff and to have you guys be a part of that. And 8 of you sent in your goals. 8 of the patrons here sent in exactly what it was you wanted to do. And so I have 8 different people who have been sticking with their goals who I'm going to shout out tonight as we are all helping form the NIS Endurance, which I'll talk more about that in a bit. So, but first and foremost, we are going to talk a little about some other stuff. So the first thing I want to make sure, oh my God, Andrew Halsey asks here, Ben, are you ever going to do any songs from Popstar Never Stop Stopping? I mean, holy shit. I love that movie with all my heart. I love it so much. I could do I'm So Humble. Didn't I do I'm So Humble on a stream at one point? I think I did. I could do I'm So Humble. I could do Finest Girl, the Bin Laden song. That's one of my favorites. That one's really good. The Ibiza song is incredible. That movie's so good. Oh, God, I love that movie. So, but the things we're going to talk about first, we're going to talk about the upcoming schedule. We're going to talk about some album updates. We're going to talk about a little bit of what we're doing as far as the NIS Endurance, and then we're going to check in on some goals. Because I will tell you guys right now, those of you that want to know and those that are waiting, I am 14 days in, day 15 of my first goal today. That is no delivery, no takeout food delivered to my home. Sorry, I can order from Amazon. I can pick up food. I can eat out. I just can't order food in to be delivered to my home. That's my first goal. I'm 15 days. I'm halfway through the goal. I could show you guys. I have a calendar. I've been marking on the color-coded and all that. And then the second one is this is day 8 of the second goal, which is a fitness goal. My brother and sister and I are all doing together. We're all every day checking in with each other on a text thread. You know, do you do your stretches? Do you do your thing? And we're all doing that together. So I'm 8 days into that one. And then today is my third goal, and I'll be debuting what that is a little bit later today. Plus congratulating all of you fucking awesome patrons who've been sticking with your goals. Because as we talked about last week, I'm accomplishing my dreams on this channel. I want to help you guys accomplish yours. That's what we're here to do. So first up, let's talk a little bit about the channel, what's coming up. We did, obviously, a very fun interview with Clark Wolf. I had a great time doing that one. This week, I'm going to be taping an interview with none other than Baby Carrots himself, Mark Ellis, talking to him a little bit about his story, how he got to where he is. Now, Drew and I got to do a version of an interview like that a little while back on the Action Guys. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Mark Ellis is a treat, and he's so much fun to talk to. But I'll get to do a little bit more of an in-depth one, something with that I can really hold the reins and I can kind of do my thing with that. So I'm really excited. That'll be on Friday of this week. So remember, for everybody here, for every single patron, that's patreon.com/nerdsandsuits, that is a platinum patron or above. That's the second tier. You get to submit a question. So if you have any questions for Mark Ellis about his career, about anything, stand-up, the Schmoedown, send them in. You just directly message me on Patreon, on the Patreon messaging app, and let me know what your questions are. I'll be taping that on Friday, so make sure you get your questions in there. This week, on Friday, we've got the one, the only, Jonny Cruz, voice of Lucio in Overwatch. That'll be posting. That is one of my favorite episodes I've done so far, is this Jonny episode. If you guys are fans, if you guys like what I'm doing on A Great Conversation, I'm telling you, you will enjoy this interview with Jonny. He's a fucking treat. He's hilarious. He's weird, and he tells a lot of good stories. I know I mentioned to all of you guys that I was in a short film Jonny and I had worked on in an acting class together. It's a 20-minute short called Tetso, The Extraordinary Tale of Someone Ordinary, which we starred in together. And never the post effects never got finished, so we only have this sort of slightly done version. In fact, I know at one point on one of these streams I had tried to show you guys Tetso, and I couldn't figure out how to get the audio to work. So maybe tonight we'll take another crack at it, and we'll see if I can get Tetso pulled up on here and I can stream it for you guys, so that by the time you see this interview with Jonny, you'll know what we're talking about, because it's pretty ridiculous. It's good, but it definitely is missing some of the after effects and the music, and it's like a low budge short, but you can tell it's like one step from being good. And you guys could see my acting debut, my 21-year-old acting debut. I was just a little skinny pale kid. So maybe we'll see a little later in the stream if we have time to pull that up. That's on Friday, noon, Jonny Cruz. That's going to air. I'm going to try to get an episode of Song from the Scene done this week so I don't fall too far behind on that show. It's a show, as I mentioned, I like doing a lot. Trying to kind of find the day and the song to make sure I finish it. So that should be coming out this week. I may move that show from Wednesdays, where it had been debuting, to Thursdays. because I find that when the week starts, I have Schmoedown backstage on Tuesday, plus I have a lot of work stuff. This stream on Mondays, there's a magic stream we do that I'm doing right after this. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the first couple days of the week, and so getting it done by Wednesday tends to be a little harder and kind of stresses me out. So I think Thursday might be better. But either way, I should have an episode of that done this week. I would like to have another one of those out. Jonny Cruz interview is going to air at noon on Friday. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. As far as album and music updates, I should remind everybody here who's tuning in. We got about 40 of you guys watching now. Yeah, Jeff, I'm gonna talk about the goal setting here in just a quick second. Obviously, Jeff Alterman, who's a 5-star general over in the Action Army, and I'll tell you what I have now. I've got a sick little document over here that I put together that tells me everybody's level in both Patreons, so that I can shout people out like 5-star Diamond General Jeff Alterman. Call sign quiz show, fucking sick. Just being able to combine the two ranks is just unbelievable. 5-star Diamond General Nikki Therese. I think I have one or two 5-star Infinity Generals, that's a crazy rank. But I'll be shouting all those out properly. Anyhow, there'll be a bunch of different ways that you guys can send in your goals, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a quick second. But let's talk a little bit about music, because right now I am 3 scratch tracks in now to tracking the album, which so what a scratch track is, I think I mentioned this to you guys last week. You go in and you figure out the proper tempo, exactly the speed you're going to record the song at. You figure out the proper key, so you can sing it and play it. And then you go in and you start to lay down a very basic track. And it's not intended to be something anybody ever hears, and the vocal you lay down is not really intended to be something anyone ever hears. But what you do is you record your guitar part to a metronome, so you're exactly on time, and then you sing as best you can, because you're gonna have to listen to the scratch track a lot of times. It's throughout production. That way, as you want to go in and you want to record drums and bass, and you want to record backing vocals and pianos and all that, you have a proper framework to track it to. That's the right key and the right time signature, and that way, eventually you go in and you replace the scratch guitar, and you go in and you replace the scratch vocal with final vocals and guitars. But last week on the Studio Diary, which is I think everybody in here has heard me talk about it, but every other Saturday for 1 hour I do an unlisted stream, and I play you guys kind of everything I'm working on, both original music I'm working on, plus covers I'm working on, plus original songs that are getting somewhere, and you guys all get to kind of hear little snippets. Philip Gustafson, for instance, call sign Daywalker, sent me a message the other day. It was like, hey man, that song that you played in the Studio Diary last week has been kind of stuck in my head. I just wanted to let you know, that one really stuck with me, right? And I had PLD send me a message on Facebook that was like, hey, the chorus on Don't Give Up, that really stuck with me. And that's really cool. It's very helpful for me to hear that. And it's also a lot of fun for me in these early stages of songs to connect with you guys and hear what you guys respond to, whether it's lyrically or it's melodically. It's helpful for me to kind of know which direction to go with the songs, because I've got bits and pieces of 30 or 40 that I've been working on, but only 5 or 6 are going to make it. Justin Sedgwick says that sounds super hard. I would think that means you're talking about the scratch tracks. And yes, they are a huge pain in the butt. Recording on time is very hard. Eric Lane, the process is tedious but very necessary. Very much so, yes. It's recording to a metronome is horrible. It's like the least fun thing in the world. Luckily, there's like a lot of technology that if you don't care about the sound too much, can shift the audio just by a hair to put it exactly on time. It changes the sound just a little bit. But if you're just using it for a scratch track, it's a lot easier than having to do everything exactly. So pretty much that's what's going on with music. I filled out a second verse on one of my favorite songs. That was just earlier today. I did that one. We kind of came up with like a new bit. David and I were talking about something that we thought was pretty cool, and I could maybe a little later in the stream, possibly, if you have time. I could show you guys kind of an idea. I like showing you guys the new stuff, and in the Studio Diary, I like to show you kind of like the slightly more developed songs. But here live on these streams, I don't like to show like bits and pieces too much, so I'll probably wait on that. But maybe later in the stream, I can show you guys kind of. We were talking about maybe an album opener. We thought we had maybe figured out an album opener. Hey, what's up, Miss Movies? How you doing, Brienne? Big time salute to you, Brienne. Big time salute to you. Love seeing you in here, Miss Movies. Just a legend, an all-time legend. And also an infinity nerd in the Nerd Network. Big time stuff, Brienne. So all right, let's move on here. That's kind of how we're doing with music. I wanted to make sure I hadn't forgotten anything else super important and cool on the music front. We're at 50. Let me see how many patrons we have now. The goal by the time I play my first concert is 100 patrons. So the idea is that if we get to 100 patrons, I will play a live show. We're at 54 right now. So we've had a Patreon live on this channel for about 6 weeks. And I will continue putting stuff out, and I will continue developing, and I will continue building. And it's a little weird because of the way that I set this up. I told you guys this, with the lowest level, on the Patreon being the gold level. It's a little bit, prohibitive, I think, to get like a lot of people to just beef those numbers up to get to the concert level. But I'd rather we take our time and make sure that when you guys sign up, you're excited to be here. Because, I'm eventually going to play the concert, and I think it's going to be fun. It'll probably, by the time I play it, I'll live stream it. I'll probably do it from David's studio, I would think. David is my producer. And I think probably I'll go out there. We'll set up audio, video. Maybe he'll play backing guitar. I'll probably have a mic on me, have a mic on the guitar, maybe backing tracks. We'll see. And I'll probably play through 4, 5, 6 originals plus 4, 5, 6 covers. Which should be really, really fun. I can't wait to do that. So if you guys are on the fence, if you're thinking about becoming a Patreon, but you haven't just yet become one, there's lots of cool things, lots of cool perks to become one, and it will help us get to that studio or that live performance goal, which I can't wait for. So I think otherwise with music, that's kind of where I'm at. My mom called me because she's a patron. Actually, she's not even a patron. She's an action patron. She's not a Nerds and Suits patron, but I sent her the link to the studio diaries anyway because she really wanted to hear them. And she called me and she was like, "Hey, that song you wrote is my favorite one." So she described it, and I was like, "Oh, I love you, Mom. That one's not gonna make the album, I don't think." And she was like, "Oh," I was like, "So sad. My mom liked it. Maybe I'll record it anyway." So let's talk a little bit about goals. Let's talk a little bit about goal setting. Other stuff that's going on. I think as far as any other guests that I wanted to announce, we already talked. I've sort of talked about a bunch of the upcoming guests on the channel. The only other guests that I've confirmed so far, Andraco wants to do an interview on here. I think I mentioned that already. I'm excited to talk to Mark. I think he'll be a great, great interview. He's got so much to say, and we got to talk to him about a ton of cool shit on action, but I actually think Andraco will be a really, really fun one. And then there's a sports broadcaster. Named Lindsay McCormick, who does a bunch of cool stuff. She does like a Shark Tank style show. She's all over the place, but she has a kind of common connection with another interview Drew and I did from a while back. She's a big action movie fan, and so for a long time we were thinking about trying to get her on Action Movie Anatomy. Obviously that show is on hiatus. We have no ability to do it, so I think I may be doing an interview with her on Nerds and Suits. I'm hoping that I can figure out the way to make the schedule work, but yeah, I'm continuing to reach out to people that I'm really excited to talk to. I love kind of getting to hear people's stories, and a great conversation has been one of my favorite things to get to do. So let's talk about goal setting. For anybody here who wonders, what is the NIS Endurance? Okay, the NIS Endurance is a metaphorical concept, if you will. The idea being that it takes 30 days to make a habit or 30 days to break a habit, something that I've read about before, probably you guys have heard about before. By the way, a big-time shout-out to Danny Koss, callsign Phantom. I found my old notebook of lyrics. Embarrassing. Yeah, old stuff does kind of gets a little harder. And if anybody does want to send in a Streamlabs or a super chat, by the way, obviously super chats are open. It is streamlabs.com/nerdsandsuits. That is open on my computer here in case anybody does want to share and get something read out on air. Let me just pull those open to make sure that I don't miss anything. But thank you so much, Danny, for that, for contributing to that. And I always love the support of a Streamlab or a super chat. 30 days to make a habit or 30 days to break a habit. And there's lots and lots and lots of evidence that'll talk to you guys kind of about psychologically why it is that happens, the sort of game that your brain starts to play, and why it's easier to stick to things when you have that kind of set amount of time you're trying to accomplish. And so I kind of had this idea, and I debuted this a couple weeks ago, and the idea was kind of, if I set a goal on a Monday for 30 days, And then the next Monday I set another one, and the next one I set another, and the one after that I did another. By the time I got to that 4th week, I would have 4 of these 30-day challenges going at the same time. And by the 5th one, the first one would expire. But in theory, because you've already done it for 30 days, you would have a really good chance of just continuing on without having to make it a goal. And if it falls off, it falls off. You can always bring it back as another goal later. So I talked to you guys about that, and I was like, you know what? That sounds like a really fun, really cool thing to challenge myself to try to do. I'm going to do it every week until I turn 33. And I thought about it, and I was like, okay, let's start with 4 of these first. Let's see if we can actually accomplish 4 of these together. And the idea being, obviously, if I can get through 4 of them, I've accomplished something. That's like a win in itself, a certification, whatever you want to call it. And so I decided to set them live on air here. At the end of 4 of them, I'll kind of decide how far I want to take it, if I want to take a break. But what I figured out was I wanted to empower you guys to do it, because I'm doing it on here, and I'm asking you guys to keep me honest by talking to you guys about my goals. So what I encouraged you guys to do was to send me your 30-day goals, every single patron of Nerds and Suits at every level. And I said this last week, I'll say it again. Gold is the opening tier of our Patreon here. But if you sign up for even $1, you don't even sign up you can still do it. You sign up for $1, you send me a message about your 30-day challenge, I will check on you. I will have you guys know every single one of the patrons that sent me their 30-day goals, all 8 of them. I sent a message this afternoon checking to see how you guys were doing with your goals. And every single person responded immediately telling me the update of what was going on. I think everyone. I'll have to go look to make sure I didn't miss one. But it was really cool. It was very exciting for me to have the people that have been watching and listening to this take it that seriously and get excited about it. It obviously means a lot to me to have you guys be that excited about something I'm excited about. And as I've mentioned before, I want to accomplish my dreams. That's what this channel's for. So let me help you guys accomplish yours. Let me legitimately help you by, just kind of being in your corner and holding you accountable. So anybody who wants to do that, anybody who's already a patron, as I mentioned, we have 54 patrons on here. Any one of you that wants to set a 30-day goal for yourself, send it in. Just directly message it to me on Patreon. Let me know what your 30-day goal is. You can start today, and I will check on you next week to make sure you're sticking with it. Guys, I see Miss Movies here. I don't know if I sent it on Patreon, but I definitely told you about it, I think. Yeah, so Miss Movies, I was looking for that today because I was going to try to put you into the sheet so I could make sure I checked on you, and I couldn't find the message. It might have been a text. If anybody sent me something that was not on Patreon, I tried to remember. Call sign Sidewinder, Sergio had sent me one. I was able to dig that one up, but make sure you do send it to me on Patreon. It's easier for me to keep it all in one place that way. But I am very, very excited to keep you guys, focused with your goals. And so I'm going to start out just by kind of shouting out my folks here who have accomplished the first week of their goal, because I think it's super fucking awesome. And I really want you guys to stick with them. So starting off with Lucas Shashek, who is a 5-star Infinity General and member of the Nerd Network. That's a big time salute and a tie straighten. His goal was to write every single day this last week. He did it. He successfully has written every single day this last week. Very excited to see that. Big fan of Lucas, obviously my best friend in the entire world. That's a great goal. Next up, we have Trevor Fast, call sign Stardust, just recently introduced, who is also a 5-star Infinity General, who's also, his goal was writing every single day. Trevor's got exciting stuff. He wants to debut the title of his book eventually on this show. When I'm shouting him out and he's sticking with the writing, he wants me to actually announce the title of the book, which I don't have yet, but Trevor was able to stick with being creative in the creative writing process every day. So congratulations to you, Trevor. Continuing down the list here, call sign hashtag Ladies Night, John Lestrina. Hang on, guys. Let me just move. Let me just move over here so I can make sure I have this all in one place. Scoot. 1 second. Give me a minute. And there we go. All right, let's line those two up next to each other. So I've got call sign. Wait. No, I'm losing it. I'm losing it all. What's happening here? What the actual F? Oh, here we go. Call sign hashtag Ladies Night, who is a Diamond General in the Nerd Network. So a tie straighten and a salute to you, sir. Was already playing bass every day. I was kind of excited, inspired to play more music, but told me that this last week, his goal that he was starting on the Monday was no fast food. And he stuck with it. He told me today he's been sticking with it. He's been packing snacks to work, so that's great. I definitely know how that one's going to be challenging. The delicious McDonald's French fries will wreck me every time, so it's exciting to see you sticking with your goals there, man. Thank you so much for writing in. Just a few more left here that I want to make sure I read, and it looks like we just had a couple people send in their goals here, actually, so I will continue to kind of read those out as we go. Hang on one second here, guys. Just got this new phone. Come on, phone. Help me out here. Nope. All right. Pull this up. Okay, one second. Checking one more thing. Making sure we're sticking with this. Pulling up in the Patreon. Make sure I kind of get everything here. And I got a message from a patron here that I want to make sure I'm doing correctly. Okay, here we go. So Charlotte Gherkin. Charlotte Gherkin's goal, and by the way, Charlotte Gherkin, who is Charlotte Gherkin is a double diamond sergeant, so it's a salute and a tie straight in there. Exercising every day was the goal by Charlotte, and Charlotte wanted to let me know today. She's doing great, right on track, and for the next 30-day challenge, she's going to cut out all refined sugar of the diet. So she's 7 days into the first one, she's doing the next one, which is what I encourage all you guys to do. Remember to send me an update, letting me know both what your new goal is and how you're doing on your old one. Because at the end of 4 of these, anybody who's doing this, if you make it through 4 of these like I'm trying to do, 4 30-day challenges, you secure yourself a seat on our starship that's taken off to the stratosphere, the NIS Endurance, which is just a metaphor for accomplishing our goals. But fuck it, right? Let's all get on the Endurance together. So a big time salute to you. Congratulations, Charlotte. Also, continuing down the list here, we have Pardis Jessa Dawson, call sign Party J, who is a double diamond general. Sorry, guys, I'm switching between screens here, trying to make sure that I keep up with everybody. But Party J's goal was to walk for 30 minutes every single day around the neighborhood, and he has stuck with it. So congratulations to you, Party J. Congratulations. Andrew Halsey. This one's interesting. So Andrew Halsey had sent me a message that he wanted to meditate daily, as well as a couple other goals, and he was going to do it this week. He had some things he was sticking with. And what ended up happening was that he went away for the weekend with 3 old friends and had the most enriching weekend he's had in a long, long time. And was like, it was hard to stick with the goals. You know, I missed some of the stuff I wanted to do, but I plan to kind of get at it this week. But it sounds like the payoff there of missing that first week was to have one of the best weekends of your life, which I totally understand. And I think it's important sometimes, guys, that not every goal you set all the time you're going to stick with exactly. It's important to set them. It's important to set them and believe in them, but it's also important to understand sometimes when we don't make them, it's for a good reason. So, Andrew, I totally appreciated you. You sent me a very thoughtful, very long message kind of explaining the whole experience, and I thought that was cool, and I'm glad to get to share it on here. As well as meditating, Andrew has a bunch of other goals on his list that he wants to accomplish as well. So I'll make sure to continue checking in there. And finally, after the end of this first week, we have call sign the pusher, Brandy Parker, who is a diamond general here in the Nerd Network. A salute and a tie straight into you, Brandy. Thank you so much. Brandy with 2 goals sticking with in back-to-back weeks. Started a week early when I first mentioned this idea. No online shopping, so going strong with that one. And the second one, a 5-minute daily meditation goal. Brandy sticking with both, so congratulations to all of you, all of the nerds in the Nerd Network who are sticking with them. It looks like I have about 5 or 6 messages that have just come in right now with people wanting to wanting to do their thing. And I think that's really, really, really cool. Okay, so we have a Streamlabs here, a very, very generous Streamlabs from Lemon Squares 10, who I think Lemon Squares 10 is my patron, Claire Sexton, who is a certified gold NIS nerd. Claire Sexton says, get a new stool. So my question for you, Claire, it's a $50 Streamlabs donation, by the way, which is incredibly generous. Thank you so much, Claire. Big time salute to you and a big time tie straighten on that generous donation. Is that because you can hear my stool creaking, or is that because I've talked about the crossbar on my stool hurts my feet, and so I have to wear the Ugg boots, which are finally, by the way, destroyed and the bottoms have ripped off? I'm curious to know which, because I do have to get a new stool. You're dead right. I actually have to get a new chair and a new table. Yeah, Claire says, you said it made your feet hurt. You're damn right it makes my feet hurt. It also makes my fucking back hurt. Sitting in this high stool and leaning forward like this, my upper back is dying. So thank you so much for the Streamlabs donation there to help me get a new stool. I'll probably have to get a new table and also a new chair. I see CJ Robinson in here. Wait. CJ Robinson. Damn it. I wish I had all my fucking... we just gave CJ Robinson his call sign. I feel like such a fool. I can't pull it offhand. This is brutal. CJ... What? Robinson. CJ Robinson. Which one was it? CJ Robinson. Please tell me, because I just spaced on your call sign, and it was going to be so cool if I could. The Graduate, Mrs. Robinson. There we go. Yes, I love it. Salute to you. Salute to you, The Graduate. Yeah, PLD. Everybody else knows it before I know it. It's hard. It's hard doing this work, coming up with stuff here, guys. It's good to see you, CJ. Thank you so much for checking in, my friend. Always good to see you in here. CJ Robinson, who is a double diamond general, somebody who I relate to greatly because CJ actually recently just had the same back surgery I had, and I know what the recovery on that one's like, and it sucks. So thank you so much, CJ, for all of your continued support, all your commitment, and being here and hanging out. I love seeing you in here. So it looks like we've got a whole bunch of new messages from generals that all patrons in the Nerd Network who all want to be kept honest with their goal setting. I love to see that. Looks like we're going to have a big group of people here who I'm going to be sending messages to and keeping on track. Yeah, this is very, very cool. Very, very cool. Love seeing this. 5 new messages here I just got from people, all existing patrons, all who want to be a part of the thing, and that is big stuff. So, oh, nice, and comments and everything, guys. Overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. But so as far as the kind of goal setting and all that stuff goes, what we're talking about, I was able to stick with my 2 goals I mentioned. The first one is no delivery, so we're halfway through that first goal, 15 days in today, and then the second one was to have a goal that was fitness oriented, so I can start to get in better shape. And my brother and my sister and I, my brother lives in Seattle, sister lives in Brooklyn. We're doing like a home workout plan, so like basically on like a yoga mat, Bosu ball, just like push-ups, crunches, that type of stuff, right? Resistance bands, very basic. Maybe takes 30 minutes each day. We're doing 4 days a week on that plus stretching. And so this is, today was day 1 of the second week. I managed to stick with that the whole week, which is great. So I'm well into my second goal. So now my third goal, this is one that a lot of you guys are going to be very familiar with. My third, don't forget to stretch. So Alex it's a great suggestion. 10-minute stretching every day. That's the first piece of the goal. So even on the days that we don't work out, we still stretch for 10 minutes. So that way, every single day we stretch to get a little more limber, get a little more flexible, and then the 4 days a week we're sticking with the workouts. And that's been fun. It's been fun to do it with my brother and sister. We don't get to do stuff together all that often, so that's been really cool. So my third goal, and this is one that I think is familiar for you guys and one that a lot of you guys would expect, it's a Schmoedown goal. And as well as the fact that I want to win the title, and I expect to win the singles title back and the team's title back, and that's something I'm definitely working on. I needed to do it. I needed to actually set up a system for myself to do it. So because of the fact that I don't want to reveal anything here in terms of what my actual system is or what I'm doing, I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what it is that I am doing. But what I will tell you guys is that I have set a daily goal. I have set a daily Schmoedown goal for the next 30 days, starting today. When this stream is over, I'm going to have to go find my time to do my Schmoedown goal. And I don't want to say what that goal is, but I'm sticking with a daily Schmoedown commitment to make sure that I'm ready for my matches that are coming up. Obviously for a singles match against Andrew Guy versus Bateman 2, and then of course a teams match, Who's the Boss, has a number 1 contenders match that we have to get ready for and are excited to play. And so I want to make sure that I am able to accomplish those goals, and I have a system in place to do it because I want those titles and I expect to win them, and I know how to win them, and I'm going to do them. So that's my goal. I'm keeping you guys in the loop on. So I'll be doing the no delivery for another 2 more weeks. I'll be doing the workouts with my brother and sister for 3 more weeks, and starting today for the next 4 weeks, essentially, I'll be doing a Schmoedown goal. I don't know what my one next week is going to be yet, but I am going to stick with it. So I'm really, really genuinely very excited about that. I think it's going to be great. And at the end of 4 of these, remember, anybody who has managed to stick with 4 different cycles of 30 days could literally be the smallest things in the world. But anybody who sticks with 4 of them, I'm going to give you guys some sort of a sweet special certification. I got to come up with a clever name for it. some kind of a clever name for it, and that special certification obviously is going to get you a seat, the NIS Endurance, as we take off into the stratosphere, which I really can't wait for. It's going to be so much fun. Looking here, it looks like I have a brand new double diamond nerd in the Nerd Network. Big time commitment here from Douglas Castle. I love seeing this, Doug. This is really, really, really exciting. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for becoming a nerd in the Nerd Network, man. Salute to you. A tie straight into you. You kick ass. Very, very cool to see. And it looks like I just got notification here, so I want to just make sure. I'm going to check one other thing here just to make sure that I'm getting it all correct here. But thank you so much, Doug, for joining and becoming a nerd in the Nerd Network. It really is cool. And I thought so. Doug has now become a double diamond general, both Action Industries and Nerds and Suits at the same time. Those are huge. Those are huge signups, Doug. Thank you so much, man, for joining. You're the first new general since we've come up with all the call signs, which means, God, I honestly gotta wait for Drew, but I got an idea. I got a really good idea, Doug, for the call sign I want to give you. It's going to be unbelievable. I can't wait. I can't fucking wait. So Doug, I think I have a call sign that's gonna crush. I think you're gonna love it, man. But then, and I think, you know what? I think I just got another notification here as well, from a none other than Mr. Jeff Alterman, who currently right now, Jeff Alterman is a 5-star diamond general. He just upgraded to 5-star double diamond. He went double eagle on us, guys. He went Del Frisco's 5-star double diamond general quiz show. Jeff Alterman, big time salute to you, Jeff. Love seeing that. Thank you so much. I also see that you just sent in a goal that you want to accomplish, which I can't wait to help you stick with, man. Very, very cool. Yeah, Doug, amazing. If PLD's in here watching, let's make sure we get Doug added. Let's make sure we get Doug added to the generals chat over there on Facebook. And I know one of these days we're talking about maybe switching that over to Discord, because it's kind of unruly for us to have like 60 people in a Facebook chat now. But that's incredible. I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys send in your goals. Very, very, very cool stuff. Very supportive stuff for you guys to be on board like this. I love doing it. So, yeah, all right. So that's kind of my third goal there, is the Schmoedown goal. I'm sticking with that. I'm really pumped about it. And in terms of just sort of, because so much of what we talk about on this show, especially on Monday nights, is positivity. It's about, what are these changes doing for our lives? Like, what are they making us do? I mean, how are they making us feel better? Because so much of what this is about for me is about, no matter what position I'm in my life, no matter what moment in my career I'm in, my physical health, no matter kind of what my friendships and relationships look like, I want to make sure that I'm waking up and going to bed as happy as I can. It's something that I'm really focusing on doing right now in my life, because I'm trying to do so many new things, and I'm trying to be so develop all these places that I make content, whether it's like on Twitch, or it's the album, or it's Nerds and Suits, it's interviews, it's action, it's Schmoedown, it's Cass and being the VP sales over, and that's this toy company that's doing very well. It's been a huge life moment for me. I'm trying to appreciate what I have and make sure I make the best of it all. And so with each of these changes, this is kind of why it's so important for me to encourage you guys to do the same thing. This is why kind of the whole point of what Nerds and Suits Mondays, Nerds and Suits Live, this positivity stream is really about, is like, I'm not doing these goals just to challenge myself. I'm doing these goals because I have a theory that when I implement these goals and I stick with them, they're going to make my life feel better and happier. And there's a level to being honest with you guys that I think is really important, that I really, I encourage you guys to have sort of that same level of transparency with yourself and with your loved ones, to really own your happiness, to own your mistakes, to own your successes. And so for me, I can be honest, like, my first goal started because I was feeling like too often at the end of the night, I'd be either, maybe I was stoned, maybe I was drunk, or maybe I was just tired. And no matter what, I'd sort of lazily order a pizza. It's a thing I did a lot. And I love pizza, guys. I love pizza. I could talk your ear off about pizza, and I would always enjoy myself eating that pizza. But I would start to notice myself gaining a little more weight, and I started to notice like it just didn't make me feel great. And it was kind of a habit I had to break. And so it was like, all right, this will probably help me trim down a little. This will probably help me feel a little better. This will probably help me save some money. And because it wasn't just pizza, right? It was like, you'd order in dinner. You'd spend a little more than you needed to on dinner. And I just sort of thought to myself, you know what? What can it hurt for 30 days to try that out? And so I did. And it's been 15 days and I have cooked way more. I've spent way less money. And I'm definitely losing weight, which makes me feel great. The second goal, which was a fitness goal, is a much simpler and much more obvious one, but being accountable with my brother and sister. Not only is it helping to do it with them, it's teaching me in this time, in this COVID time when we can't go anywhere, to work out at home, to make sure that I'm doing something. The stretching is very important for the health of my back. CJ here asking a question about movies I've watched, and reminds me of that, obviously, and I'll get to that, but just doing something to make myself feel a little more limber, to keep that core stronger, to keep, the glutes and the hamstrings all looser. Cause that's where you suffer. When your glutes and your hamstrings, like that's a lot of what the back pain for anybody who has back pain comes from. So making sure to stick with that. And so that's what I started doing. And so with this third goal, I honestly, studying for Schmoedown, aside from winning in Schmoedown, is not exactly something that improves my health or something like that. It's a little OCD, but I do think that Schmoedown means a lot to me, and I really would like to win. And I don't want to go into the second half of the season coming off of what I did last year to have COVID sort of derail my follow-up season. I don't want to go into the back half of the season unprepared and doing something half-assed. I want to do it the full way. I want to do it where I'm taking it seriously because it matters to me. And so I'm gonna take seriously this goal for 30 days, and I'm gonna come out of it ready to fight, ready to perform. And I don't know how many more years I'll compete in Schmoedown. Who knows, right? But I know that when I'm actively competing as a top level competitor, I want to do it the right way. And so it's a kind of a good lesson to not half-ass the things in your life that you care about, because if you half-ass the things in your life that you care about and they don't work out the way you want, you kind of have no one to blame but yourself. And it's important to remember that. Like I said, take responsibility for your wins, take responsibility for your failures. And so, I am definitely excited about that one. And so I encourage any one of you guys, any and all of you guys to, stick with your goals, to try to accomplish your dreams. Remember, if you want to start on this 30-day challenge program, send in your messages. Every single patron at every single level, send in your messages here directly on Nerds and Suits. Just directly message me here, and I'll make sure I mark it down, and I will check in with you guys just like I checked in with everybody today about how they were doing with their stuff. And we'll all come out, better for it. So, we've got about 15 minutes of the show left here, guys. I'll be playing a live game of Commander Magic with Alex Kessler, my co-host of the Masters of Modern podcast, and also the CEO of Kesco, plus other, Drew just texted me, new general. I'm going to text him live on air, new general. Let's text him live on air. It's exciting. I'm texting him, Doug, what I think your call sign should be to see if I can get him to sign off. Call sign. It's a sweet call sign. If Drew signs off on it, I'm going for it. But he's got to sign off. So anyway, we've got about 15 minutes of the stream left, and I'll be playing a game of Magic after this at 8:30. I think I have half an hour between streams to finish up this, eat a little dinner, and then we'll be playing live for an hour and change. So a couple things to sort of answer here. I did mention watching Tetsuo. It feels like we're going to run out of time, so maybe we'll do that on a stream next week. Yeah, maybe we'll watch Tetsuo, next week, but sorry guys, fucking brain farts. I'm just losing my shit right now. Doug Castle says the guys who took your picture in New York for you and the other generals. Oh, is that you were outside the bar? Is that right? I feel like that sounds sweet. Okay, that sounds about right. That was a good time. It was a good night that night. But CJ Robinson just asked if I was watching any movies. And I am watching movies. Yeah. He says, yeah. Okay. I'm going to tell Drew right now. He's the guy that took the picture of us and the generals in New York outside the bar. Riveting content, says John. Me texting Drew. Yeah, I know. It's great. So the stuff I've been watching. I have been watching some stuff. I've been on like a little bit of a Disney Plus superhero kick. I've mentioned this before. I think one of the action streams. By the way, guys, there's throughout the stream we've had almost 50 people. Hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Come on, guys. There's 40 thumbs up. We can probably get that to 50 by the end of the stream. I'll bet you there's at least a few of you guys watching right now who have not already hit the thumbs up button. So let's do it. Let's get that number up. I've been on a little bit of a kick. Yeah, watching the Marvel movies. Not because I like really feel like I need to rewatch them. There's no Schmoedown component there. These are all movies I've seen before. They're all movies I like. I'm not watching the bad ones either. I'm not doing like an inner geekdom thing. I just these days when I get the instinct to watch something that I've seen before, but I know I like, I follow the instinct because for such a long time with Schmoedown, I just had such a hard time motivating myself to watch new shit. And I forced myself to do it, to watch new stuff that I hadn't seen before, which obviously I like doing, but it does feel like a little bit more of a task. Whereas, when I'm like, I just want to watch this movie I like, I just do. So I watched like Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame, Iron Man 3, Black Panther, Captain America 2, Captain America 3, Ragnarok, Days of Future Past, Fantastic Four, the Josh Trank one. I just watched a bunch. I'm probably kind of done now. I've probably kind of gotten through the ones that I want to watch. And I'll move on to kind of something else. But that's what I've mostly been watching. It's been fun. I've actually really enjoyed watching them. I've been tweeting about them a bunch, engaging with you guys on Twitter a bunch, which has been super, super fun. Anyway, that's kind of what I've been doing there. Anything you guys want to hear about? Any questions you guys have? We've got about 10 minutes of the stream left. This has been a very successful stream. Good numbers, good people in here, a lot of positivity, a lot of optimism. Love all that. Anything you guys want to hear about that we should chat about before I get out of here? I'm checking, making sure I'm not missing any Streamlabs or anything like that. You guys let me know. Otherwise, yeah, we'll just kind of hang out. I can read the chat a little bit. Eric Lane, Josh Trank's Fantastic Four. I thought you said you weren't watching bad movies. Yeah, I was kind of drunk. It was late at night, and I'd never seen it before. So, yeah, it wasn't very good. Sweet. Drew just said he loves the call sign. It's fucking sweet. Doug Castle, if you're still in here, I think, I wonder if I can give it to him. I can give it to him on air. Can I announce it? He's hyped. I hope I can give you this call sign. If not, we'll do it this weekend. But I've never seen the yes, he's here. He's here. I love it. Jeff Alterman here, call sign quiz show. Double diamond 5-star general. Nerds and Suits, anything you've tried to cook or plan to cook that excites you? Okay, sweet. Doug Castle, call sign the Punisher. Sick! One of my favorites. Frank Castle, right out the gate. Call sign the Punisher is as good as it gets. This is sweet. I love it. I love it. Doug Castle, thank you so much for signing up. That's a good one. Anything you plan to cook or that tries to excite you? The majority of what I cook is like I cook like a lot of veggies and like protein. That tends to be what I make. And honestly, it's probably because when I was a lot younger and I was like a trainer, that's just sort of what I got used to eating. But it's also just what I find sits the best. It's like feels the best to eat. I definitely eat. I'll eat pizza. I'll eat burritos. I'll eat whatever. But when I'm cooking, that tends to be what I go for. So I'll do a lot of like sautéed Brussels sprouts and like mushrooms with a piece of steak or. One thing I've actually done a lot of recently that I've really enjoyed is I get these fully cooked turkey meatballs. They're like vacuum sealed. They have them at Gelson's, my local grocery store. And I'll cook up, like I'll saute up mushrooms and onions, a little bit of spinach, garlic, and then I'll put in the meatballs to kind of brown on the sides, and then I'll put marinara like a really good red sauce, and I'll let it simmer for like 10 minutes. So it gets the meatballs get kind of seared. It kind of warms everything up, nice and salt and pepper. And then you're just literally eating, bites of turkey meatballs with like a few veggies and some red sauce. It's pretty healthy, pretty clean, really, really good. That's been something I've done a few times this last week. I've really, really enjoyed that. CJ Robinson here, who call sign The Graduate, is asking, will you be playing more Patreon requests? Can't wait to hear what everyone's been asking about. Yeah, so what's been happening with the Patreon requests for the covers, CJ, just so anybody who's watching and is wondering about this, because it is a real concern. For the same reasons that the Patreon requests and also Song from the Scene have been kind of problematic, it's been hard for me to find the time to Rouse is the red sauce I buy. Miss Movies because it's the best. The time to prepare the covers. So what I did the first Studio Diaries, I did a couple of them, and I didn't think they were that great. And I felt like my performances were pretty weak. It made me realize that if I was going to prepare them, I needed to really properly prepare them. And so I have to figure out how to do this in a way that is honoring, obviously, the requests that you guys have, but also is making sure that I'm able to give you guys, something that's sustainable on my end, because it's really, really tough to do a good cover. That's the struggle for me. And so some of the covers are a little easier to learn and some of them are great, but some of them are a little more intensive. And so finding the time to give a proper preparation of them is a little harder. And so I'll probably be updating the Patreon tiers pretty soon. We're almost 2 months in, and I'm finding some things that work very well, other things that are a little harder for me to follow through on, to find the time. But obviously what has been requested so far is definitely going to be honored. I'm probably going to be doing just a live stream. I might even do it on Twitch rather than doing it on Twitch rather than doing it on like a YouTube thing, because I'm planning on doing music streams on Twitch still. Jack Shipley says, you're doing some amazing work with these covers. I really appreciate your arrangements. Jack, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I'm working hard at it. It takes time. That's the truth, like it's not easy to do these, because if you do them lazy, they're fine. They just don't have quite the pep that I feel like they need to have to really stand out. And I hold myself to a standard. I want to do a good job with this stuff, especially the ones that you guys are requesting. So that's the answer to that question there. Yeah, I think we'll probably wrap up here in just a second, guys. Thank you all so much for watching another episode of Nerds in Suits Live Weekly. I do want to remind everyone here, so this Friday we've got an interview with Jonny Cruz, none other than the voice of Jordan Cross and the Hitman video game, and obviously, Lucio in Overwatch, longtime friend of mine. I'll be interviewing him. Or I already interviewed him. It'll be posting this Friday. I will be interviewing Mark Ellis on Friday of this week, so I'll put a post in the Patreon, patreon.com/nerdsinsuits for anybody who's not already a patron, and everybody at the platinum level and above. So that's the $15 and above tiers will get to ask a question. You can send in a question for Mark Ellis. I will ask him in the interview, one question per guest per week. So Ellis will be this week. That'll air next week, and then I have to figure out which guests I'll be doing. Right now, I'm trying to kind of alternate, like one Schmoedown, usually one non-Schmoedown, because I'm trying to make sure I'm broadening this channel to include people, who go out. Maybe John Sheck, who is a friend of mine. I know I had announced him. John and I have been talking about making sure we get him in here to do an interview. John plays Jonah Hex on Legends of Tomorrow. He was the singer Jimmy in that movie, That Thing You Do. And he's the singer in the band. So really great guy, wonderful guy, super, super fun guy to hang out with, and should be great to talk to him. So maybe we'll get John on here as our next guest after Baby Carrots. But be sure to get in your questions for Mark. Look out for on the Patreon for the posts. You can make sure to share yours. If you guys are watching and you have not already followed me on Twitch, please go and follow me on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/Ben Bateman Streaming. I will be there this week a couple different times. And of course, stay tuned for all the fun stuff we have going on this week. I'll be playing some Magic tonight over on the Masters of Modern channel. Plus, Action Unfiltered. We've got another episode of the General Debate this Thursday, which should be epic. Our Captain's Coachella, that's for captains in the Action Army. It's a private stream just for captains. Or the very first Captain's Coachella, I'll be wearing Coachella gear. And Eric Lane, what was that? are we talking about? I'm not sure what we're talking about. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you listening. When the stream is over, if you guys are watching, you want to leave a comment, please do. Remember, if you want to get in on the goal setting, 30 days to make a habit, 30 days to break a habit, send in your goals to me directly on patreon.com/nerdsandsuits. Give me a message. Let me know what your 30-day goal is. I'll keep you honest. I'll check on you. And at the end of 4 of these things, when we've accomplished 4 of them together, you will secure yourself a position on the NIS Endurance. We'll blast off into the stratosphere. Thanks, guys, so much. I will see y'all very soon, and have a good night.